just did. We talked about it the other night, and he asked me what songs I would like him to sing. He touched me and made me whole. That song really defines what I wanted to say to you today. John called me and told me that Chuck had emailed and asked if I would speak when I came home from Maryland. I could stand up here and talk all day about Caitlin, but it's not about Caitlin. It's about what the Lord did in our lives and how He brought Caitlin to us, and I just can't praise Him enough. She is such a blessing, but God is the one we give the praise to, because God is the one who brought her into our lives. We just finished reading a book, and I know a lot of you in Solera were participants when we met and discussed this book, The Shack. We talked about The Shack, and we talked about Paul Young, who wrote The Shack. The Shack is a story of a place where a man had to go. He had to face God. This shack was where his daughter was murdered. But not only did he need to go to the shack to face God, he had so much anger inside of him with God, and he needed to go to the shack. I think we all have a shack, a place where we need to go, a place where we need to meet God. And I know that you all have stories of how God has ministered in your life. And when we met as a congregation, can you believe it's been almost a year since Steve and Jolene left? We were such a lost congregation. We wondered what in the world were we going to do without our pastor. And God has just met our every need here in this congregation. He has ministered to us this year and ministered to me in such a way and just brought such joy. And we were worried about who was going to talk, what are we going to say? And I opened my mouth, and I should have known better, because I've worked with engineers, and I knew a long time ago, you don't ever say anything at a meeting because I got you. You were going to be asked to say, or you were going to be told, I think that's a good idea. I think you should run with it. So when John called me, that's all I could think of. Oh, you got me. Because I suggested, I think it would really be nice. I would really like to hear where God has brought you, where you have come from. I would like to hear your stories too. So this is my story, and I just would like to share a few things with you. I have a title for this, but I really thought what Buddy, the song, Do You Have a Gethsemane? Not only do we have a shack that we need to go to, but we have a Gethsemane where we go and pour our hearts out to God. The way I went to Gethsemane and poured my heart out to God. From the earliest age, my constant companions were sadness and fear. You see, my parents were constantly fighting. And unfortunately, we three girls were fighting too. You see, our mother was mentally ill, and our father couldn't cope. And then the worst thing that could possibly happen, I reached out for comfort to a relative who was abused by that relative. Home was a war zone, and we three little girls were the victims of that war. We were in the middle of that war. Each of us was scared, trying to get away, looking for a way out of the pain, the hurt, fear,